Welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. Today we are talking with Cognoscape on business technology, creating the roadmap, keeping you safe if you're a client of theirs. And we've had some funny stories. If you haven't seen the first parts of this, you should check them out. Charles, Michael, I want to know more about your ideal client, because obviously you could serve a lot of different people, but when you say small to medium size, what does that mean, and then what does that usually look like?
Well, we have sort of two different levels of clients, right? Ones that have an IT department, which are our larger clients. So they're typically 100 employees and above. So they're going to hire some of their own IT folks. So what we do there is we fill in the gaps, right? They have skill sets that that are limited to one person. We have an entire team of folks with multiple skill sets, all from technicians all the way up to virtual CTO and CIO skills. For smaller clients, we are their IT department, right? They outsource that function to us. We do have a lot of law firms as clients, and we get to know their business applications, the applications that they use to run their law firm, which are legal specific. So we're experts in that area. However, what we do, which is transform their technology so they can be better at their business, we can do for anybody, really. Anybody, maybe 20 computer users and above, they have enough issues and problems on a day-to-day basis where they really need help. We find that professional services firms, as an example, pay more attention to their technology, are more concerned with it, and it's very important to their business. But anybody that has a network is going to have issues as time goes on, and as technology is moving so quick, it's very hard to keep up with. So that's our job.
Yeah, the clients of ours that have a different view of technology besides just they're dependent on it for their business. They, in their cases, time's literally money. If they're having an outage or downtime or even just disrupting an end user to help them with a problem, sometimes that can impact revenue directly. So we do extra things like make sure that we'll do a lot of after hours work when they're away from their computer, because most of the time lawyers can be working on multiple things, and we really have a focus on trying to do that.
Now, one of the other things, though, that I think is a little unique about the way that you work with folks is that you're very proactive in heading off the problems rather than the old time being like 5 years ago, okay? The old time model of somebody calls you when the computer doesn't talk to the printer. You guys are out there much more often, and is that correct?
Absolutely. So we're actually monitoring their system 24/7. So if you think of it like the security of your home, somebody's there looking at your system and monitoring it. And we use sophisticated cloud-based tools and different types of solutions that are constantly feeding us information. So in the background, we're keeping your network up and running for you, which cuts down on the amount of times that they have to pick up the phone and give us a call, because we're taking care of that in the background. And that's things like fighting hackers off, antivirus type activities, taking care of temporary files, making sure they have all of the proper patches, security patches as well as performance packages for all of the different systems. We're doing that in the background. But we also have to analyze which patches they're supposed to get, because they might have an application or something that doesn't work with a specific patch. So there's a lot going on in the background. It's not just them calling us and us.
Yeah. Any stories of somebody like that you've been able to work with that really fits that ideal profile and you made a difference? What are some examples of?
Well, law firms specifically, if we go back to our very first client, we actually did through our sales process, identified how much time their lawyers were losing a week of dealing with technology problems, slowness with systems, inefficiency of not having concise tools that they use for their business. And when we went back to them a year later, what we had talked to them about what they would recoup, it was actually greater than we had anticipated and projected for them.
Wow.
Yeah, a partner called me one day and he said, Michael, I want you to give me like a financial statement. Every penny that we've spent with you over the last year. And I'm like getting nervous. I'm like, oh, what's the problem? He's like, no, there's no problem. It's just that our billable hours are way up in the last year and we can't figure out why. And I said, how long have you been with us? And they said, oh yeah, about a year.
Okay, so he was having billable hours, which means more revenue for them, and those are going up, and he's going, oops.
Why?
Yeah, really.
And it's because, well, your technology is
not getting in your way.
You're more productive. So,
I love this. I know that when you step into somebody's business, one of the things you said before the show, and I want to make sure it gets on here before we go to the break, is the assessment that shows security has always been lacking every time you've given it. Is that what you said?
In 5 years, when we first talk to people, that are prospective clients, we talk about an assessment where we go in and we look at the state of their network and their technology. And in 5 years, we look at all of the security risks and we give them a report about those security risks. In 5 years, we've never done one where they didn't have gaping security risk in their network.
Well, so. I will tell you, if you're watching this, hopefully you're learning a little bit more about the technology that can change your world, and these guys can keep it running. We'll be right back after we hear from our sponsor.